What if I told you that the secret to unstoppable strength isn't hidden in some complex workout program, but in just 5 simple movements that you probably already know? And what if those same exercises could make you stronger at everything, from carrying groceries to playing with your grandkids decades from now? Today on Gain and Grow, I'm breaking down the only functional strength exercises you actually need, and by the end of this video, you'll have a complete blueprint for building real-world power that lasts a lifetime. Before we dive in, let's destroy the biggest myth about functional training. You know those ridiculous exercises where people balance on wobble boards while juggling medicine balls? That's not functional training, that's circus practice. Real functional strength comes from mastering movements that actually mirror what your body does every single day. When you bend down to pick up a heavy box, you're not standing on a bouncy surface, you're performing a deadlift. When you need to push something heavy, you're not doing it while balancing on one foot, you're using both legs for maximum power. The truth about building functional strength is surprisingly simple. You don't need dozens of exercises. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need to constantly change your routine. In fact, research shows there's zero correlation between the number of exercises in your program and your actual results. What you need is to master a small handful of movement patterns that build strength that transfers to everything else you do. Let's start with the foundation of all functional movement, the hip hinge. This is the single most important skill you can develop for both strength and injury prevention. Every time you bend over to pick something up, you should be hinging at your hips, not rounding your back. The best exercise to master this pattern is the deadlift, and I recommend starting with the narrow sumo stance. Your feet are just wide enough to let your arms pass through, arms staying parallel to each other. Find a comfortable stance that feels natural to you. Why is the deadlift so crucial? Because it teaches you to use your posterior chain, your glutes and hamstrings, which are the powerhouse muscles of your body. When you master the hip hinge, you're not just getting stronger, you're bulletproofing your lower back for life. Whether you're lifting groceries, moving furniture, or picking up your kids, you'll be doing it with perfect form and maximum safety. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you want to take your hip hinge to the next level, I highly recommend incorporating kettlebell swings. Now, this isn't just about using a heavier weight, it's about generating explosive power. When performed correctly, experienced athletes can generate over 10 times the acceleration of gravity with just a 53-pound kettlebell. That means they're creating the equivalent force of a 500-pound weight. You're training your body to produce massive amounts of power while staying completely safe. The kettlebell swing also develops what we call power endurance, your ability to generate force repeatedly without fatigue. This transfers directly to every athletic movement and daily activity. Plus, there's something called the carryover effect, where training one movement pattern makes you surprisingly better at completely unrelated activities. People report improvements in running speed, jumping ability, and overall resilience from nothing but consistent swing training. Now let's talk about the second essential movement, the squat. But not just any squat, the Zercher squat. This exercise involves holding a barbell in the crooks of your elbows, which might sound uncomfortable at first, but it's actually genius. The Zercher squat works even if you have shoulder, wrist, or elbow problems that prevent you from doing traditional back or front squats. More importantly, it creates incredible core stability through what's called reflexive stabilization. Your midsection automatically tightens to support the weight, teaching you to brace properly under load. The beauty of the Zercher squat is its simplicity. You don't need perfect mobility or years of technique refinement. You can learn it quickly and start building serious leg strength immediately. This carries over to everything from getting up from chairs to climbing stairs to jumping over obstacles. For upper body pressing power, the bench press remains one of the most effective exercises despite its controversial reputation among some fitness circles. Professional athletes continue to use it because it allows you to build tremendous strength with surprisingly low training volume. You can perform just 3 sets of 5 repetitions once per week and continue making strength gains for years. The barbell bench press offers 2 unique advantages. First, you can make tiny weight adjustments, allowing for precise progression over time. Second, there's something deeply satisfying about moving heavy weight that motivates people to stay consistent with their training. If you enjoy the feeling of pressing serious weight, you're much more likely to stick with your program long term. Here's something that will immediately make you stronger in every exercise you do. Grip strength. Simply by gripping harder, you instantly increase your strength output in any movement. Try this right now. Do as many bicep curls as you can with normal grip pressure, then do another set where you crush the weight as hard as possible. You'll immediately knock out several more repetitions. This happens because of something called irradiation, where tension in one area spreads to surrounding muscles. Strong grip strength also correlates with longevity, though we don't fully understand why. Regardless, it's worth training both for immediate strength gains and long-term health benefits. You can develop grip strength through exercises that incorporate it naturally, like rope climbing and weighted pull-ups, or train it directly with specialized exercises. One particularly effective method is asymmetrical carrying, where you carry a weight on just one side of your body. This challenges your core stabilizers while building incredible grip endurance. A protocol I love involves using a kettlebell that's roughly 30% of your body weight. You literally run with this kettlebell, switching hands as often as you want. This improves running posture, develops stabilizing muscles, and builds both strength and endurance simultaneously. The key to making this work is the frequent hand switches. When muscles contract briefly and then relax in short cycles, they can work aerobically for extended periods without fatigue. Start by walking with the weight and gradually progress to running as your fitness improves. The fifth and final component is power development, which becomes increasingly important as we age. Power is your ability to generate force quickly, and it declines faster than pure strength as you get older. This is why elderly people often struggle with activities that require quick reactions, like catching themselves from a fall or stepping up onto a curb. The kettlebell snatch is outstanding for power development when you snatch a heavy kettlebell overhead and then control its descent. You're training both explosive power and eccentric strength. This combination builds resilience in your muscles and connective tissues while developing the kind of quick, reactive strength that keeps you safe and capable as you age. Now here's the crucial part that most people get wrong. Once you've selected your core exercises, stick with them for years. There's absolutely no reason to constantly change your routine. You can make small modifications like adjusting grip width or stance, but the fundamental movements should remain constant. Consistency allows you to perfect your technique and progressively overload the same movement patterns over time. Find exercises you genuinely enjoy that don't cause pain and that you have consistent access to equipment for. These will become your strength foundation for decades to come. Focus on progressive overload, gradually adding weight, repetitions, or difficulty over time. Master the technique first, then push the intensity. Remember, functional strength isn't about performing circus tricks or balancing on unstable surfaces. It's about becoming exceptionally strong at the basic human movement patterns that you use every single day. Master the hip hinge, perfect your squat, build pressing power, develop crushing grip strength, and train explosive power. These 5 elements will give you strength that transfers to everything you do in life. Your body is designed to move in specific patterns, and when you train these patterns consistently with progressive overload, you become not just stronger in the gym, but more capable, resilient, and powerful in every aspect of your daily life. This is functional strength training at its finest, simple, effective, and built to last a lifetime. If this video helped clarify functional training for you, smash that like button and subscribe to Gain and Grow for more no-nonsense fitness content. What's your favorite functional exercise? Drop it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll dive deeper into programming these movements for maximum results.